Wait, hold on. Did the world just change overnight? We just got news that President Trump and President Putin are planning a new summit uh, to end the war in Ukraine, Budapest.
Right, Budapest. But here's the thing, the bombing, the drone attacks, they're not stopping.
No, they're actually escalating, it
Yeah.
feels like. Like, diplomacy and the war are just speeding in opposite directions right now. It's a massive curveball. Welcome to the military point.
We are diving into a crucial moment right now, a real clash between, diplomatic speed and military escalation.
Yeah.
Before we continue, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to know.
Okay, let's jump right in. That diplomatic shockwave late last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
Trump and Putin, what, over 2 hours on the phone?
More than 2 hours, yeah. And the result, bam. An agreement for another summit, focused purely on ending the war in Ukraine.
And Trump didn't waste any time getting the message out.
No, straight to Truth Social, other platforms, called the talk productive, said great progress was made. And the location, Budapest. Interesting choice. Neutral ground in Central Europe.
What strikes me is the speed. I mean, no firm date for Trump and Putin yet, but lower-level talks are apparently set for next week already.
Exactly. That tells you this isn't just talk about talks. The wheels are turning fast.
And how it was handled. Trump posts on Truth Social, confirms the summit, and then, crucially, says he'll brief Zelensky personally.
The very next day.
Friday. Right, which immediately creates this pressure cooker situation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Because all this positive talk about a U.S.-Russia summit, it instantly throws U.S. military support for Ukraine into question, especially near-term support.
Yeah, the big question becomes, if you're seriously talking peace, do you keep shipping advanced weapons for war?
That's the core tension right there. And the timing, well, the timing is everything. This Budapest news drops the day before Zelensky was already scheduled to be at the White House.
For some really high-stakes talks of his own.
He wasn't just coming for a photo op. His mission was clear. Push for more military support, specifically those advanced offensive missiles.
And we're not talking about more of the same, are we? The request is specific.
Tomahawks.
U.S. Tomahawk long-range missiles, yes. And asking for those, that's a huge leap. A really significant step up from defensive aid.
What would Tomahawks actually mean on the ground strategically?
Well, look, it's simple but profound. Tomahawks would put Moscow, several other major Russian cities, squarely within missile range from Ukraine.
Wow, okay.
That fundamentally changes the Kremlin's calculation. It brings the war home to the Russian population in a way that hasn't happened before with the weapons Ukraine has had access to.
So let's unpack the leverage game. Trump's been very vocal. He wants the war ended. He started by vowing to end it.
Right, the war that started with the 2022 invasion.
And it's also expressed, let's say, increasing frustration with Putin over the continued attacks, the brutality of it all.
Intense frustration, yeah. And that seems to be part of his strategy here.
Because this Tomahawk request isn't entirely new, is it? There was a threat attached. Exactly. Trump had previously, quite explicitly, said he could supply these long-range weapons if Putin refused to negotiate, if he didn't come to the table.
Okay, so here's the critical question for you, the listener. Did the threat work? Putin has now agreed to the Budapest summit. He's come to the table.
Seems like it, or at least it played a major part.
So if the threat achieved the diplomatic goal, why on earth would the U.S. then follow through and actually deliver the missiles now? Wouldn't that just blow up the talks?
That is the strategic razor's edge they're walking. Giving the Tomahawks now, yeah, it escalates things massively, right, when you're trying to de-escalate through talks. But if you don't give them or signal you won't, do you lose the very leverage that might have brought Putin to Budapest? Does he think he can just drag out negotiations while the war grinds on?
It's that classic negotiation bind, isn't it? Show your cards too soon, lose power, keep them hidden too long, maybe they think you're bluffing.
Precisely. And it makes Zelensky's visit to the White House incredibly awkward. What's his message? Great, thanks for the talks, but give me the missiles anyway.
Or does he argue that the threat needs to remain credible, perhaps even through delivery, to keep the pressure on during talks?
He almost certainly has to argue for continued pressure. Because, I mean, while we're sitting here talking geopolitical chess moves,
the actual war on the ground isn't waiting. It's getting worse.
It's escalating. The urgency for talks isn't just political. It's driven by the sheer brutality unfolding right now.
We're heading into the 4th year of this war, and the focus seems laser-sharp on energy infrastructure. Both sides.
Both Kyiv and Moscow are hitting energy targets hard. Russia did this in previous winters, we remember that. But the scale now feels different, bigger.
Just look at Thursday, the same day Trump and Putin had their productive call. What were the numbers Zelensky reported?
Over 300 drones and 37 missiles, targeting infrastructure all across Ukraine.
300 drones. I mean, that number alone tells you this isn't some symbolic scaled-back conflict to set the mood for peace talks.
This is maximum pressure warfare. It's trying to cripple Ukraine's ability to function this winter, trying to put maximum leverage on Zelensky before he even landed in Washington.
And Ukraine isn't just absorbing these hits.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Kyiv is hitting back. We saw counterattacks on Russian targets that same Thursday, like that oil refinery strike in the Saratov region.
So Ukraine is showing it can reach deeper into Russia, hitting economically valuable targets, disrupting the war machine's funding and logistics.
Exactly.
It's just vital for everyone listening to grasp this contradiction. Formal diplomacy is spinning up for Budapest. But the violence, it's not pausing, it's accelerating. Energy systems, logistics. The lifelines for winter are the primary targets right now. The pressure to negotiate isn't just abstract strategy, it's deeply humanitarian.
Which is why the other messaging from the U.S. administration had to stay tough.
Yeah.
Right? Defense Secretary Hicks said on Wednesday.
Right. What did he say?
He was clear. Washington will impose costs on Russia for its continued aggression unless the war ends. Now, it keeps that economic stick visible.
Okay, so we have the military stick, the Tomahawk threat, maybe delivery, and the economic stick trying to cut off the money funding the war.
And that means focusing hard on Russia's oil revenue. That's where diplomacy meets global trade.
Trump's been pushing on this front, too. There was that big claim about India.
Yeah, he claimed Indian Prime Minister Modi had pledged to stop buying Russian oil. Which, if true, that would be a massive blow to Moscow's budget. India's a huge customer.
The details matter here, don't they? We need to look at the fine print, as they say.
Always.
Yeah.
And the reality, according to sources Reuters spoke with, is, well, it's more nuanced. India hasn't confirmed an immediate stop.
So what are they saying?
Indian refiners are apparently preparing for a gradual reduction, not a sudden cutoff.
Gradual, that's a key word.
It's vital. Look, oil deals are complex, often long-term. India has been getting discounted Russian crude, which helps their economy. So a gradual reduction signals they're responding to U.S. pressure, yes, but it also reflects the real-world difficulty, the cost of switching suppliers overnight.
Which means Russia still gets oil money flowing, even if it starts to shrink.
For now, yes. But the direction of travel is clear. And the administration isn't stopping with India.
The next target is China, right? Even bigger.
That's the plan. Push China to stop buying Russian oil, too. China is currently Russia's single biggest energy customer.
So if India, a major democracy, starts moving away, even gradually,
the pressure on China, which has its own economic issues to worry about, becomes enormous. That could be the real economic checkmate, potentially faster, more decisive than any single weapon system.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, this Budapest summit isn't happening in a vacuum. It's not some sudden outbreak of goodwill.
Not at all. It's high-stakes negotiation theater, maybe, but backed by a very real, synchronized strategy.
You've got the Tomahawk threat hanging in the air.
The brutal escalation happening on the battlefield right now.
And this simultaneous intensifying global economic pressure focused on oil.
All three levers are being pulled at the same time. It's calculated, but it's incredibly risky. You offer talks in Budapest, promise peace.
While keeping the military threat alive and tightening the economic screws, making the cost of continuing the war just unbearable for Moscow.
That's the goal. Make continuing the fight more painful than striking some kind of deal, even if it's not the deal Putin initially wanted.
Which brings us right back to that immediate dilemma the next couple of days. Summit planned, yes. But the decision on those Tomahawks is critical.
Deliver them, and the talks start under incredible tension, maybe even collapse. Hold back, and maybe the leverage evaporates. Does U.S. support start to look shaky?
So what truly sways Putin right now? Is it the diplomacy in Budapest? Or is it the threat of his oil money drying up if India, then China, really start cutting back?
That's the question, isn't it? The economic reality might be the quiet, unstoppable force here, maybe more so than the public theater of the summit.
It's like two giant levers, military escalation, economic strangulation being pulled at the exact same moment the diplomatic curtain rises.
Yeah.
So think about that domino effect for a second. If India does gradually cut back and China feels pressured to follow, how fast does that change everything for Putin on the ground? Does it make Budapest the main event or just the stage setting before the economic consequences really bite?
That calculation right there is probably what defines the next phase of this conflict.
You've been listening to The Military Point. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time.